this is author Tim Brown, the book Uncommon Athletes, and I'm truly blessed to have with me a truly uncommon athlete, and Matt Moyer. Matt's a young man from Gahanna, Ohio, here in the Columbus area, Gahanna-Lincoln High School, and went on to a prep school in Connecticut, and then played basketball at both at Syracuse, Vanderbilt, and George Washington. So he's played in the Big East, the SEC, and Atlantic 10. So he's had quite a run in basketball, but it's not over yet. It's not over yet. And along the way, he picked up a couple college degrees along the way, both his bachelor's and master's. So Matt, welcome to the show.
How we doing? Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I just definitely wanted to have you on, because when we talk about uncommon athletes, it doesn't get more uncommon than you and your experience. And the most important thing is that you completed it. And that's what we talk about a lot in the book, that you have to, when you have passion for basketball or life, you have to make some adjustments in life. You got to make some sacrifices, but at the end of the day, you can never give up. You got to finish, and that's what you've done. So, man, when did you find your passion for basketball? Where did that come from? When did you really find out, hey, I love this game?
I would say when I was about 6 years old. My dad used to go, he used to take me, we used to go over to Carriage Place, and I'd go watch him play basketball, and I'd be on the side hoop on the little 8-foot rim, shooting, and just watching, guys like LeBron, coming out of Ohio, and just growing up seeing that, and seeing him be the chosen one and the next Jordan, those experiences kind of shaped and molded me to, just take a liking to basketball. As I started to get older and older, just gradually started to just love it almost, just became a second nature, a love to me.
Yeah. You were on a great AAU team, young with some top players as well. How was that experience as a young player playing with those guys and those experiences? How did that help you?
It was incredible. Just not only necessarily playing with all those great players, but the fact that our team represented Christ. It was through Vineyard Community Center, the church over there, and it just felt like something special was just brewing in the air from the day I stepped in the gym with those guys. It's just crazy. I mean, now looking to the future, to present, to see, Malik, he's in the NFL, right. Seth has a degree from Harvard,
right.
And he has an opportunity to play for Ohio State for another year, and, have a shot at the championship possibly next year, the Big Ten championship. Dantez is overseas, making great money, got his degree from Northern Kentucky. I mean, I can just keep going down the list just to see the blessings flow through all of us. It's just, an incredible experience within itself. And then, just to be part of that was something special.
Yeah, that's awesome. And at the end of your junior year, you decided to go to a South Kent prep school in Connecticut. How did you come about that decision, and how did that prepare you for college basketball?
That was one of the toughest decisions of my life. I mean, as a whole, just especially with the way my Gahanna career ended, kind of with a bad taste in my mouth with the Northland game, but Coach Boeheim, he recommended some things, and prep school is one of the things he recommended. He raved about the talent, in the NEPSAC, which is, one of the best leagues in the country up in the Northeast. Obviously I had a lot of offers, I could have went to, IMG, Brewster, but, there was, just something about South Kent that just stuck out, the level of players that was there, the situation, the on and off the court experience, everything just kind of just made me gravitate towards that.
Yeah, and you balled out there, brother. I mean, you was a Gatorade Player of the Year and had some great games. It seemed like your basketball game just took off there. What kicked in there? What was the difference there between your high school experience and then that year at South Kent?
I would just say the structure of prep school is what really kind of installed that discipline from the basketball side, in me. We were up at 6 a.m. every day working out. The coach Jeff, who was, the coach up there. I mean, he coached at the collegiate level, and like I said, the talent at South Kent was just incredible. I mean, playing against that talent every day, you figure at the point guard, you have Tremont Waters, which was an all SEC player at LSU. At the 2, you have Elijah Hughes, who actually played at Syracuse, and he's playing for the Utah Jazz right now. Tremont's playing for the Boston Celtics. You have myself. Andrew Gordon played for West Virginia. I can just keep going down the list. I mean, every single day in practice, don't get me wrong, Gahanna had a lot of talent, but that was even bigger jump. You know, you have guys who are now in the NBA. So just that, and just like I said, the structure of prep school, you know, you wake up, you go to chapel, you know, got practice. Then, I mean, just like it was way more structured. And then also you're on your own, you know, you're out, it's boarding school, you know, you don't have your mom over you, you know, there's no just sitting in the house, and you have a schedule and you have to stay on that schedule. And I think that schedule and structure really helped me.
Yeah, it seemed like it really helped and just prepared you for some of the other uh, schools you attended and journeys. You've been blessed to have a great college basketball experience. You know, you played in some of the top conferences. You played in the Big East, SEC, Atlantic 10. You played for some great coaches, Coach Boeheim, you know, Coach Drew, Jerry Stackhouse, and now Coach Christian at George Washington. What did you learn about yourself? First off, as a player, and then as a person. What did those experiences teach you about Matt?
Oh my gosh. I mean, my college experiences, you know, who molded me to be the man I am today. You know, from a basketball perspective, you know, just really taught me to persevere. You know, I swear, you know, when you're in high school, it's just this glittery, glamoury picture of college basketball. You think it's just going to be some fairy tale, and you're going to walk in there and you're going to play 1 year and you're going to go to the NBA and everything's going to be roses. But, you know, going through it and experiencing it really just gave me a different perspective on it, and really taught me how to grind and persevere through, you know, any trial, any tribulation that, you know, is put in front of you, and, you know, not to quit. You know, like you said earlier, you know, there's a lot of guys that start the journey, but they don't finish the journey. And, you know, it took a lot of perseverance to just, you know, keep going, keep pushing. And even if one avenue doesn't work out, you know, attack the next avenue, you know, and regardless of what position you're in, always put your best foot forward, you know, put effort in, and always have a good attitude.
That's great. That's great. With this, we have a lot of young athletes that are on this, watching this, and even some college guys, and a lot has been made of the transfer portal now. You know, all of those things, and that's the big thing now. And you were a part of that. You know, finishing at Vanderbilt and then decided to go to George Washington. What played into your decision there, and how do you feel about making that decision?
You know, obviously, when you decide to transfer it, it's a tough thing. You know, it's a tough decision to make. It's a tough decision to decide where you're going to go, you know, because obviously the previous school, you felt like, you know, whatever, you didn't get the opportunity you wanted, whatever. So, you know, it's a tough thing, you know, and I think me going into the transfer portal and me making the decisions I made were, you know, huge decisions and very valuable decisions, you know, that, you know, mold me and mold my career to be in such a good position it is now, you know. When I transferred, you know, the biggest thing for me was making sure I get the best of both worlds. You know, don't get me wrong, playing at Syracuse is amazing. Playing in any big time school is amazing, but, you know, it's also, you have to look at, you know, the academic side of things. Both matter. And, you know, when I transferred, I really wanted to get the highest level on the court and off the court with the academics in basketball. So.
Yeah, you sure got it at George Washington. You know, you're right there in the middle of it was a president election time going on, and you're right there in D.C. What was it about George Washington that led you to that school?
I would definitely just say, you know, Coach Christian, the vision he had for me and the plan he had for me, the opportunity that he, you know, gave me, which I'm just extremely blessed for, you know, to go down there and, you know, play a lot of minutes, learn from him, and really get the opportunity that I wanted in my college career. And then also, you know, just living in DC. I mean, it's just crazy the experiences I got to, you know, have living in DC, you know, throughout the riots and stuff like that. I mean, a memory I'll never forget. Right. You know, we're getting ready to play UMass, sitting in the room, and we get a call from the coach, say, you know, hop on a Zoom call. We get on the Zoom call, and the game is canceled, not because of a COVID outbreak, because the Capitol building gets stormed. Wow. You know, so some of the experiences that I had that, you know, was just crazy. And everything going on in the world, you know, with the racial stuff, with, you know, everything going on, just to be in the mecca of it in DC was just a special opportunity and something I just really couldn't pass up on.
From those experiences, well, what's one takeaway? What's one thing you take away from those experiences during this past year?
Oh my goodness. You know, that's a great question. Just to keep, you know, oh my goodness. Just to keep your loved ones close. That, you know, that's something that, you know, with this past year, make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them, and, you know, to treat other people with respect, you know, to love everyone, regardless of what race, you know, whatever it has to do, just to love everyone. You know, that's probably the two biggest takeaways from this past year. And just, you know, being in DC during that time, like I said, it's almost surreal, just to look back on it. And it was definitely just an interesting year, especially playing basketball. You know, it's not like I'm just there in the city, right. You know, I'm there, you know, playing the sport I love, but it was a special experience.
As you talk about that and mention that, let's talk about your family. And I know your mom and dad have been very supportive during this basketball journey. Let's talk about their support during your basketball journey.
You know, just to keep it real, I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't, you know, if it weren't for my mom and dad. You know, my dad, from an educational standpoint, always, you know, not just instilled the importance of education in me, but was an example. I mean, he's a pharmacist, you know, was always on me about academics, getting great grades and the importance of it. And then, you know, my mom, she gave me everything. You know, she's a stay-at-home mom. She was owning her own business and decided to stay home with me. And just completely changed my life, you know, just made me the man I am today. And even to this day, she still is always, you know, staying on me about certain things. And, you know, now looking up, I'm, you know, 23 going on 24. It's like, wow, like if she wasn't on me in each one of those moments, you know, would I be where I am right now? You know, I question myself, you know, and I don't know, you know, because she's given me the world, and I can't thank her enough for it.
Wow. That's powerful. That's a powerful statement. And I'm sure that, she appreciates that, and just looking at you now, you know, the position that you're in, and how prepared you are. Being an uncommon athlete, you also are not just a basketball player, you know, good academic student, but the word is that you're a pretty good chess player there, young fella, and that you could, and also you play a mean violin from what I hear, you know, and even picked up some golf. How has those things help you in your development as not just an athlete, but as a person?
You know, like I said, that all goes back to you know, to parenting and what my parents have done. I mean, all that culture and stuff installed in me is because of my parents. You know, my parents is who started me up playing violin at the age of 6. You know, my parents who signed me up for chess club when I was, you know, 8. You know, my mom who signed me up, you know, for the golf team, you know, when I was in, you know, 5th grade. So, you know, those little things, you know, have helped just shape me and culturally shape me. You know, I feel like I can walk in a room with just anybody and hold a conversation with anybody. And just it culturally shaped me to the man I am today.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. Because there's another side of us as men and as people. There's other side, you know, so people, I think your parents and you as well recognize this, just want to be looked at as hey, this is Matt Moyer. He's a tall 6'8" black kid that plays basketball, you know. That there's more to you than that, than just being a basketball player, you know. And speaking of that, as you prepare for that next phase of your life, could you share some life lessons that will carry you into your future? What are some of those life lessons that will carry you into your future?
You know, a quote that you know, I live by, that my dad always tells me, been telling me since I can remember. No discipline, no success. You know, anything you want out of life, you know, outside of basketball, any avenue of anything you want in life, it's not going to happen unless you have discipline. No discipline, no success. You know, that's something, you know, that I live by. I try to live by. You know, I fall short just like any other human, but I feel like if I have the best discipline, you know, and hold myself accountable to that, I feel like I can be successful at anything I put my mind to. And then, you know, also something else, you know, don't just pick one avenue. You know, if there's any advice I have, don't just pick one avenue. You know, always have multiple things going. Always culturally or whatever it is, surround yourself by, you know, multiple things, so you have different avenues you can go into, and you're not restricted to one avenue, and you have opportunities. Keep your doors open. You know, just going back to like basketball, you know, I'm not defined by just basketball. You know, I can, you know, if I need to go into corporate America, I can go into corporate America. You know, never just have one avenue. You know, always have different options in life, because, you know, you never know where life can take you. You know, I can be playing for 10 years and then you never know, I could go off into something, you know, be a violin instructor. Who knows, you know, or be a CEO at a business, or, you know, who knows what path God has next for me. But the only way I can do that is by, like, you know, going to get my degree from a great school, going to get my master's, you know, and playing violin, you know, different things like that. You know, always keep your resume, always, you know, put as, you know, invest in yourself as best you can.
Well, you got me fired up with that, man. You're gonna make me go back and play the violin or do something. You got me fired up. And I just love your passion, you know, and not just for sports, but your passion for life. I love your passion for life and how God has blessed you and placed you in that position. And I really believe that that's why I wanted to have you on here, to be that young face, you know, because the times that we're living in today, you know, we need to see the world needs to see some young people, you know, who are doing this thing the right way, you know, who are doing it the right way. And with that, being able to encourage that next generation, because as you and I know, that there's other young guys coming behind who are watching you, you know, watching what you do. So you got, on one end, you got young people watching you, what you're doing and being encouraged. And on the other end, you have older people who are watching and they're like, yes, this is what we fought for. You know, this is why we work so hard, you know, so that the Mats can be in those positions, you know, to be of success and that can carry on to that next generation. So lastly, and you just kind of gave a little bit of word, but you give a word of encouragement to students as they make these vital decisions that'll impact their basketball career, but also life in general. Could you give some advice from your experiences, how a word of encouragement to student athletes?
You know, to pick a school, you know, there's a lot of good schools out there, you know, to pick something that can set you up for life, you know, on and off the court, you know, that's, you know, so important. You know, you never know when don't get me wrong, chasing your dreams with basketball, I'm in the process of doing that right now, you know, but you never know what can happen. You could go tear your ACL, God forbid. You know, the ball is not always going to bounce. You know, it's not going to bounce forever. Unfortunately, I wish it could, but that's my biggest advice. You know, pick a situation, pick a degree that you can support yourself and your family till the day you retire. You know, and that's the blessing about being an athlete. It can open those doors, give you those opportunities, and it's handed to you. And all you got to do is go take it.
That's a good word. That's a good word. Well, I appreciate this time, and I want to encourage you and to know that that the best is yet to come. That the word Bible says this: he who began a great work in you will see it through to completion. And I believe that God's not through with you yet. That he's only beginning. And I'm looking forward not just the impact that you make in the basketball world, but the impact that you make in the world itself, whatever career that is, wherever God has you at, that you will continue to make that impact, which you already had. And I love how every place you left it better. You know, that when you left there, they know, hey, Matt Moyer was here. You know, he was here, and you left your mark, and that's a true testimony to you and your upbringing and your family. So, Matt, I want to encourage you, and I want to pray that God will continue to bless you in all that you do. So, thanks for this time, and let's go get them. You know, let's keep it going.
God bless you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, now.